Welcome back to the channel, coin lovers and treasure hunters. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and overlooked coins in American history, the 1979 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, it might look like any ordinary coin resting at the bottom of your change jar. But believe me, this little copper beauty holds stories, secrets, and surprises that could make it worth a lot more than just a single cent. By the end of this video, you'll discover how one of these seemingly common coins managed to fetch thousands of dollars at auction, and why collectors from around the world are on the hunt for special varieties of this exact year. So make sure to watch till the end because the final value I'm going to reveal will absolutely blow your mind. The story of the 1979 D. Lincoln penny begins in the vibrant city of Denver, Colorado, where millions of coins were struck at the U.S. Mint. The Denver Mint, known for its precision and high-volume production, stamped over 4 billion Lincoln cents that year alone. The D Mint mark beneath the date on the front of the coin proudly identifies its origin. Now let's go back a little further in time to truly understand why the Lincoln penny is such a cultural and numismatic icon. First introduced in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, this was the first coin in U.S. history to feature the image of a real person. The designer, Victor David Brenner, created a portrait so timeless that even today, over a century later, it remains instantly recognizable. His initials VDB would later become a symbol of pride and controversy among collectors. The reverse of the 1979 D penny still features the famous Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparro. When you look closely, you can even see the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial, a beautiful detail that many people never notice. This design had been in use since 1959, marking the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it remained on the penny until 2008 before the new shield reverse took over in 2010 BY 1979. The U.S. Mint was already dealing with the rising cost of copper. Each cent contained about 95% copper and 5% zinc, which meant that when copper prices went up, the metal inside the coin was worth almost as much as the coin itself. The government began experimenting with new metals to cut costs, and by 1982, they made the big switch to a copper-plated zinc composition. That means the 1979 D. Lincoln penny represents one of the last full copper pennies ever made before this historic transition. Collectors value this era of coins because they carry the true weight and feel of traditional copper, something newer pennies simply don't have. Let's take a closer look at the design itself. The obverse side displays a dignified profile of Abraham Lincoln facing right, with the word Liberty to his left and the year 1979 on his right. Above his head are the powerful words, "In God We Trust." Below the date sits the small yet crucial D Mint mark, the symbol that sets these coins apart from their Philadelphia and San Francisco counterparts. Flip the coin over and you'll find the Lincoln Memorial in all its glory, with United States of America and E Pluribus Unum written above, and the denomination 1 cent boldly below. But what truly captivates collectors are the tiny variations and minting errors that sometimes appear on these coins. Now, here's where things get exciting. Not all 1979 D pennies are created equal. Some coins from this year feature fascinating minting errors that can dramatically increase their value. These include double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and die cracks, all of which turn an ordinary penny into a collector's dream point. One of the most sought-after varieties is the double die obverse, where Lincoln's face or the lettering appears slightly doubled due to a misalignment during the minting process. These errors are rare, and the more dramatic the doubling, the more valuable the coin becomes. Collectors also search for repunched D mint marks, where the Denver mark was stamped twice, often at a slight angle, creating a ghost-like shadow around the letter. Another rare and valuable error is the off-center strike. If the coin wasn't properly seated in the press, part of the design might be missing, with blank areas of metal visible along one edge. The more off-center the coin, the rarer it becomes, especially if the date and mint mark remain fully visible. Die cracks and die chips are another fascinating category. These happen when a minting die begins to wear out and tiny cracks form, leaving raised lines or blobs of extra metal on the coin's surface. Some collectors affectionately call them cuds. A large or well-placed die crack can make your 1979 D penny stand out as a unique piece of minting history. You might also find coins with lamination errors, where the outer layer of copper starts to peel away, or broad-struck errors where the coin expands beyond its normal rim. These unusual mistakes are highly collectible because they show the human and mechanical imperfections behind the minting process. Collector demand and value factors. Now let's talk about what truly determines a coin's value. Several key factors come into play: rarity, condition, demand, and historical significance. For the 1979 D. Lincoln penny, while most are still only worth face value, certain coins in pristine, uncirculated condition can fetch impressive prices. A coin's grade, determined by its luster, sharpness of detail, and lack of scratches, makes all the difference. Collectors and grading companies like PCGS and NGC use a scale from 1 to 70 to rate coins. A grade of MS 60 or higher, which means mint state, can significantly boost value. Coins that look like they just rolled off the press with full original shine and no wear are the most desirable. Another major factor is toning. Some copper pennies develop beautiful rainbow-like color patterns due to years of oxidation. This natural process can turn a simple cent into a work of art, with hues of red, blue, purple, and gold shimmering under the light. Unique and attractive toning often adds premium value because no two coins tone exactly alike. In recent years, coin collecting has seen a massive revival. More people than ever are realizing that rare and historical coins are not just a hobby. They can also be an investment. The internet, auction houses, and social media have brought collectors together like never before. Platforms such as eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections often feature Lincoln pennies that attract intense bidding wars. For example, one 1979 D. Lincoln penny in superb condition, graded MS 67 red by PCGS, sold for a small fortune because of its flawless surface and rich color. Collectors are always willing to pay a premium for coins that look almost perfect under magnification. If you want to start checking your own coins, grab a magnifying glass and a good light source. Examine every detail: the mint mark, the lettering, and even the edges. Sometimes what appears to be a common penny could turn out to be something truly extraordinary hiding in plain sight. Beyond its market value, the Lincoln penny holds deep symbolic meaning. It's a tribute to a man who led the nation through one of its darkest periods, the Civil War, and preserved the Union. Every time we hold a penny, we're touching a piece of American history that has circulated through countless hands over generations. The Lincoln Memorial on the reverse reminds us of the nation's enduring respect for equality, freedom, and unity. And the Denver Mint's craftsmanship represents America's ongoing dedication to excellence and tradition in coinage. So, when you come across a 1979 D penny, don't overlook it. It's more than just copper and zinc. It's a historical artifact that tells a story of change, progress, and value, both sentimental and financial. If you're hoping to find one of these gems yourself, here are a few quick tips. Always check coins from pocket change, coin rolls, and even old jars. You'd be surprised how many treasures hide in everyday circulation. Look for coins with strong luster, minimal scratches, and full details on Lincoln's hair and coat. Examine the mint mark under magnification. Any doubling or repunching can dramatically increase the value. If you suspect you have an error coin, consider submitting it to a professional grading service for authentication. Keep your best coins stored in protective holders to prevent oxidation or damage. Experts believe that the value of pristine 1979 D. Lincoln pennies could continue to rise, especially as older copper coins become rarer in circulation. Collectors often see them as a bridge between the classic and modern eras of American coinage. As more people begin to appreciate the artistry and history behind coins like this, the demand, and therefore the value, may only increase. We're uncovering the story of a small but mighty piece of U.S. history, the 1980 D. Lincoln 1-cent penny. Though it may seem ordinary at first glance, this coin holds stories of change, value, and incredible surprises for collectors. What if I told you that one of these tiny copper-colored coins has sold for an unbelievable amount of money? Stay tuned till the very end because we'll reveal just how valuable a 1980 D penny can be, and you might just want to check your change jar after hearing this. History and background. Let's start by traveling back to 1980. The United States was going through a major period of transition, from the economy to the minting process itself. Inflation was on the rise, and the cost of producing even the simplest coins was becoming a challenge for the U.S. Mint. The Lincoln penny, which had been in circulation since 1909, was one of the most recognized symbols of American money. But by 1980, the Mint faced a serious issue. The price of copper was climbing fast. Up until 1982, the Lincoln penny was made mostly of copper. precisely 95% copper and 5% zinc. Each penny cost nearly as much to make as its face value. To deal with this, the mint started experimenting with different metal compositions, and a few years later, they would switch to a cheaper copper-plated zinc alloy. But in 1980, the traditional copper penny was still the standard, making the 1980 D coin one of the last generations of true copper Lincoln cents. Now, what does the D mint mark mean? The D stands for Denver, Colorado, where one of the main U.S. mints operates. Denver has been striking coins since 1906 and is famous for producing coins with sharp details and high-quality strikes. Millions of 1980 D Lincoln pennies were minted, around 5.1 billion to be exact. That's right, billions. So how can a coin minted in such large quantities be worth more than face value? The answer lies in its condition, rarity of certain varieties, and unique errors that make specific examples stand out to collectors. Design and meaning. The 1980 D Lincoln penny features the classic design by Victor David Brenner, which first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The obverse or front side shows the right-facing portrait of President Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who led the nation through the Civil War and helped end slavery. Above Lincoln's head is the motto, "In God We Trust." To the left, you'll find the word liberty, and to the right, the year 1980 along with the D mint mark just below it. Flip the coin over and you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a design introduced in 1959 to replace the previous wheat ears design. This reverse side was created by Frank Gasparo, and it holds a little secret. If you look very closely, you can actually see a tiny figure of Lincoln seated in the center of the memorial. That means both sides of the coin feature Lincoln. An interesting design choice that no other U.S. coin shares. Beneath the memorial, the denomination 1 cent is proudly displayed, with United States of America, and the national motto E pluribus unum, meaning out of many one, completing the design. Collectible value and grading. Now, let's get into what collectors really care about. Value. For any coin, its worth depends on a few key factors: condition, rarity, demand, and any errors or variations that make it special. The 1980 D penny, like most Lincoln cents, is common in circulated condition. You can still find it in your pocket change today, and in that case, it's only worth its face value of 1 cent. But when a coin is found in uncirculated or mint state condition, the story changes dramatically. Mint state coins, often graded from MS60 to MS70 by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC, are coins that have never been used in everyday transactions. They retain their original luster and have no signs of wear. A typical 1980 D penny in MS60 condition might sell for a few dollars, while one in MS65, a much higher grade, could go for $20 or more. But at the very top of the grading scale, where perfection is key, the price skyrockets. In MS67 or MS68, the coin can attract hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction, depending on demand at the time point. One thing that makes certain 1980 D pennies stand out even more is the presence of errors or die varieties. These are the fascinating mistakes that occur during the minting process, and collectors love them. Let's explore a few of the most famous and valuable examples. Error varieties and rare finds. One popular error found on some 1980 D Lincoln cents is the double die obverse. This happens when the coin's design is accidentally struck twice at slightly different angles, creating a visible doubling of the letters or date. If you look closely at Liberty or In God We Trust and see a shadow-like doubling, you may have an extremely valuable coin. Another exciting find is the off-center strike. This occurs when the blank planchet, the piece of metal used to make the coin, is not correctly aligned in the press, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted to one side. Depending on how off-center it is, such coins can be worth anywhere from $50 to hundreds of dollars. There are also broad strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, and struck-through errors that can make a 1980 D penny highly collectible. Some coins were struck on the wrong metal planchet, for example, a blank meant for a dime or a foreign coin. These are extremely rare and can bring huge sums at auctions. One of the most eye-catching varieties is the transitional error that bridges the switch from copper to zinc composition in 1982. While not directly tied to 1980, collectors often group late 1970s and early 1980s pennies together when searching for these fascinating cross-era mistakes. Why collectors love the 1980 D penny? There's something timeless about the Lincoln penny. It's a symbol of history, endurance, and change. The 1980 penny stands at the crossroads of old and new, the end of the pure copper era and the beginning of modern minting. Collectors value it not just for its potential worth, but for its story. Each penny carries with it a piece of American history, from the steel pennies of World War II to the copper crisis of the 1980s. Holding a 1980 penny is like holding a tiny time capsule from an era of transformation. Even though billions were made, only a few have survived in pristine, untouched condition. That's why high-grade examples certified by professional grading services can fetch such high prices. Finding and identifying valuable examples. If you're wondering whether you might have a valuable 1980 penny, here's what to look for. Condition. The less wear, the better. Coins with original red luster are the most sought after. Even tiny scratches or nicks can drop the grade significantly. Mint mark. Make sure it has a clear D mark. Sometimes filled or repunched mint marks can add interest and value. Errors. Look for doubling, off-center strikes, cracks, or anything unusual. These small details can make a big difference. Professional grading. If you suspect your coin is special, consider sending it to PCGS, NGC, or ANAX for grading. Professionally graded coins are more trusted and often sell for much higher prices. Market trends and auctions. In recent years, the market for rare and high-grade Lincoln cents has grown significantly. Collectors and investors alike are realizing that these small coins can bring big rewards. Auction records show that top-quality 1980 pennies have achieved impressive prices, especially those in MS68 red condition, where the coin surface is flawless and the original red copper shine remains intact. At numismatic auctions, a perfect 1980 penny can command attention from serious collectors around the world. The demand for coins from the late copper era continues to rise, especially as people search for examples that bridge the transition to zinc. Fun facts about the 1980 penny. Here are a few interesting tidbits that make the 1980 penny even more fascinating. In 1980, the Philadelphia Mint began adding the P Mint mark to its coins, but not for the penny. The Lincoln cent wouldn't get a P Mint mark until 2017. So if you find a 1980 penny without a mint mark, it's from Philadelphia. The cost of copper that year made the intrinsic value of a single penny nearly equal to 1 cent, meaning the metal alone was worth almost the same as the coin's face value. Millions of people began hoarding copper pennies in the early 1980s, anticipating that the metal value might one day exceed their face value, which it eventually did. The 1980 penny is often found with beautiful, deep red color when preserved well, making it a favorite for collectors seeking eye-catching examples. The legacy of the Lincoln penny. For more than a century, the Lincoln penny has remained a constant in American currency. Despite rising costs and debates about discontinuing the denomination, it continues to symbolize honesty, hard work, and national pride. The 1980 penny, in particular, marks a critical point in that legacy. The end of an era for true copper coins and a reminder of America's evolving economy. It's amazing to think that a coin worth just 1 cent in your pocket could be hiding a fortune. Stories like these fuel the excitement of coin collecting, the possibility that history and treasure might be waiting in plain sight. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting out, every coin tells a story, and the 1980 Lincoln penny is one of the most intriguing chapters in American numismatic history. We are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and collectible coins from the United States Mint. The 1984 Lincoln 1-cent penny. At first glance, this little copper coin might look like any other ordinary penny jingling around in your pocket, but hidden among them are a few rare treasures that have stunned collectors and coin experts across the country. Some of these coins are worth far more than just 1 cent. They're worth thousands of dollars to the right buyer. So stay tuned as we uncover the history, the mint marks, the details that make certain 1984 Lincoln pennies rare, and the incredible story of one example that sold for a jaw-dropping price at auction. Let's go back in time to where it all began. The 1984 Lincoln penny. History and design. The Lincoln cent has been one of the longest-running coin designs in American history. Introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, this coin replaced the Indian head penny and quickly became a beloved piece of U.S. coinage. By 1984, the Lincoln penny had already seen several changes in composition and design details. The obverse, or front of the coin, features the famous bust of President Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner. You'll notice the familiar inscriptions, "In God We Trust," arching across the top, "Liberty" on the left side near Lincoln's shoulder, and the year of minting 1984, on the right side just under the bust. Below that year is where you can find the mint mark, a tiny letter that tells you which U.S. mint facility struck the coin. For 1984, there were 3 possible mint marks. None for Philadelphia, a small d for Denver, and an S for San Francisco. Each of these locations produced millions of Lincoln pennies, but as you'll soon find out, not all of them are equal in rarity or value. On the reverse side, designed by Frank Gasparo, we see the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of national pride. If you look closely at the base of the monument, you can even see a tiny image of the statue of Lincoln sitting inside, a small but powerful detail that collectors love. The inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and 1 cent complete the back design. Composition and production. Now, here's an interesting fact about the 1984 Lincoln penny. It was part of the era when the U.S. Mint had transitioned from mostly copper coins to copper-plated zinc ones. From 1959 to 1982, pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% zinc. But starting in mid-1982, due to rising copper prices, the composition changed to 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating. That means the 1984 Lincoln penny you find today is mostly zinc with a very thin copper coating. The total weight of this coin is about 2.5 grams, and its diameter is 19 millimeters. However, because of this composition change, errors became much more common during the minting process, and that's one of the biggest reasons why 1984 pennies can be worth serious money today. Rare errors and varieties. This is where things start to get really interesting. While most 1984 pennies are only worth their face value, a select few have minting errors or doubled features that turn them into collector's gold. One of the most famous and valuable errors for the 1984 Lincoln penny is the double die obverse variety, often referred to as the 1984 DDO. This coin shows a strong doubling on Lincoln's ear, known among collectors as the extra ear variety. If you look closely at a genuine example, you'll see what looks like a second earlobe just below Lincoln's real one. It's not a trick of the light, it's an actual doubling from the minting process when the design was struck twice slightly out of alignment. This type of doubling is highly sought after because it's dramatic, visible to the naked eye, and rare. Many collectors spend years searching through rolls of 1984 pennies, just hoping to find this one special version. Depending on the condition and grade, this error coin can fetch anywhere from a few $100s to several $1,000s in the right market. The Denver Mint also produced some interesting varieties that collectors keep an eye out for. Some 1984 D pennies feature minor die cracks, die chips, or plating blisters caused by the copper coating separating from the zinc core. While these are not as valuable as the major doubling error, some of these unique imperfections still make a coin more desirable than a regular one. How to spot a rare 1984 penny? If you have a jar of pennies sitting around your house, now's the time to grab it and start looking. First, check the mint mark. You'll find it right below the date, a D for Denver, an S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia. Next, take a magnifying glass and carefully examine Lincoln's ear and face. If you see any doubling, especially what looks like an extra earlobe, you could have a 1984 double die penny. It's also worth checking for any other striking irregularities, such as off-center strikes, die cracks, or weak lettering. These errors can make your coin stand out to collectors. Grading and value factors. When it comes to determining a coin's true value, condition plays a huge role. Coins are graded on a scale from poor 1 all the way up to mint state 70. The higher the grade, the sharper and more perfect the coin's details appear, and the higher the value tends to be. For example, a 1984 Lincoln penny with heavy circulation marks, scratches, or fading might only be worth a few cents above face value. However, a well-preserved example in uncirculated or mint state condition, especially if it features the double die obverse error, can skyrocket in value. Collectors often send their coins to professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company, to get an official grade. Having your coin certified can make a big difference if you plan to sell it because buyers trust third-party authentication. Collecting the 1984 penny. Even if you don't find the ultra-rare variety, the 1984 Lincoln penny is still a fun and affordable coin to collect. Many collectors enjoy building full date and mint mark sets that include pennies from every year of the Lincoln Memorial Series, which ran from 1959 to 2008 for beginners. This is an excellent coin to start with because it's widely available, inexpensive, and still part of modern U.S. history. You might even get lucky and discover a rare variety hiding among your everyday change. Why collectors love the 1984 penny so? What makes this specific year, 1984, so special to collectors? It's partly because of its timing. It came right after the metal composition switch, meaning many coins from this period show interesting minting anomalies. It's also one of the few years where the doubling is clear and bold enough to be seen without professional tools. That combination of rarity, visibility, and accessibility has turned the 1984 Lincoln cent into one of the most famous modern-era coins. Moreover, this coin connects two eras, the early copper pennies and the modern zinc versions. It represents a turning point in U.S. coinage and serves as a reminder of how small changes in materials can lead to big surprises for collectors decades later. Auction records and real stories. Over the years, several remarkable examples of the 1984 double-die penny have surfaced at auctions. Collectors are willing to pay impressive sums for well-preserved and clearly doubled specimens. Some of these coins, particularly in high mint state grades, have fetched prices that most people wouldn't believe a simple penny could ever reach. One especially stunning example, struck at the Philadelphia Mint and graded MS67 red by PCGS, became famous for its sharp doubling and flawless surface. This coin stood out as one of the best-known examples in existence. When it finally appeared at a major coin auction, it drew intense competition from bidders and collectors who knew just how rare it was to find such a pristine 1984 double-die cent. We are diving deep into one such fascinating story, the 2011 United States Lincoln 1-cent coin. Though most of these coins are worth just 1 cent, a few special and rare examples have fetched unbelievable amounts of money. So grab your seat and stay tuned till the very end, because this video might just inspire you to check your own collection for one of these hidden treasures. History and background. The 2011 Lincoln 1-cent coin belongs to the Shield Reverse series of the United States penny. This design was introduced in 2010, following the 4 special bicentennial Lincoln cents released in 2009 that celebrated the life of President Abraham Lincoln. The shield reverse design symbolizes Lincoln's preservation of the United States as one nation, indivisible, during the Civil War. It features a single large shield with a scroll draped across it reading 1 cent, representing the unity and strength of the nation. On the obverse or front side of the coin, we still see the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the same one that's been used since 1909, designed by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head, the words "In God We Trust" are inscribed, along with Liberty on the left and the date 2011 on the right side of the coin. Depending on where the coin was minted, you'll find a mint mark under the date, showing whether it came from Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver D, or San Francisco S. The 2011 penny was struck in huge quantities, billions of them, primarily for circulation. However, what truly separates an ordinary coin from a rare one are the small but powerful differences in strike quality, minting errors, or specific varieties that collectors love to chase. Composition and design details. The 2011 Lincoln cent is made of copper-plated zinc, continuing the composition that began in 1982, when the mint changed from the 95% copper alloy to a more economical 97.5% zinc core with just 2.5% copper plating. This means each penny weighs about 2.5 grams and measures 19 millimeters in diameter. While the metal content itself isn't worth much, the beauty and artistry of the coin come from its design and craftsmanship. The reverse, designed by Lyndall Bass and sculpted by Joseph F. Mena, beautifully conveys the strength and unity of America. The large shield with 13 vertical stripes symbolizes the 13 original colonies, while the horizontal bar across the top represents the federal government that unites them. The clean lines and bold design make this coin a favorite among modern collectors. Mint locations and production. In 2011, the United States Mint produced Lincoln pennies at 3 primary locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint coins bear no mint mark, the Denver Mint coins carry the letter D, and the San Francisco Mint coins were mainly issued as proof coins for collectors, bearing the S mint mark. The mintage numbers were staggering: over 2.3 billion pennies were struck in Philadelphia, and over 2.5 billion in Denver. The San Francisco Mint, on the other hand, produced only a fraction of that number in proof quality, making them more desirable among collectors for their mirror-like finish and sharp details. However, among all these billions of coins, a few special ones have made history due to exceptional errors, rare variations, or pristine condition. Rare varieties and error coins. Now, let's talk about what makes certain 2011 Lincoln pennies so valuable. Collectors and coin experts always keep an eye out for errors, mistakes made during the minting process that make coins unique. And in 2011, several varieties and errors have been discovered that make ordinary cents turn into collectors' dreams. One of the most sought-after errors from 2011 is the double die error. This occurs when the coin's design is struck twice slightly out of alignment, creating a visible doubling of letters or features. On some 2011 pennies, doubling can be seen around the inscriptions "Liberty," "In God We Trust," or the date itself. Depending on how clear and strong the doubling is, these coins can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars to the right buyer. Another notable error is the off-center strike, where the coin's design is not centered properly on the planchet. This results in a coin with part of the design missing or shifted to one side. If the date and mint mark remain visible, such errors can fetch a hefty premium. The broad strike error, where the coin's rim appears expanded due to missing collar pressure during striking, is also highly collectible. Similarly, die cracks, cuts, raised lumps of metal from damaged dies, and clipped planchets can make a 2011 penny extremely interesting to collectors. Proof and special strike coins from San Francisco also deserve attention. These coins are known for their perfect detail and mirror-like fields, but those graded as PR70, the highest possible grade, can sell for impressive sums because of their flawless condition and rarity. Condition and grading importance. One of the most crucial aspects that determine a coin's value is its condition. A coin's grade, determined by professional services such as PCGS or NGC, plays a massive role in its worth. The grading scale ranges from poor P1 to mint state MS70, with higher grades meaning the coin is closer to its original mint condition. For the 2011 Lincoln cent, coins in circulated condition are generally worth just face value. However, coins in uncirculated condition, especially those graded MS67 or higher, can bring significant premiums. Collectors value coins with strong strikes, full details, and no visible marks or wear. A 2011 penny with bright luster, sharp edges, and no spots can easily command attention at auctions or online marketplaces. If you happen to have rolls of uncirculated 2011 pennies, it's worth inspecting them carefully under good lighting or with a magnifier. You might be surprised to discover a valuable gem hiding in plain sight. Why collectors love modern Lincoln cents. While the older Lincoln wheat pennies often steal the spotlight, modern Lincoln Shield cents have been gaining popularity among collectors. This is partly due to their striking design and symbolic meaning, but also because of the variety of minting errors and unique die characteristics that keep collectors intrigued. Many collectors also appreciate the fact that these coins are still affordable to collect in bulk. Searching through rolls of modern pennies can be an exciting and inexpensive way to enter the world of numismatics. And occasionally, as history shows, one lucky find can change everything. Auction highlights and record sales. Let's move into the truly exciting part: the stories of rare 2011 Lincoln cents that have made waves in the collector market. While most 2011 pennies remain common, some have sold for astonishing amounts when featuring unique minting errors or being in pristine, top-graded condition. For example, a 2011 D Lincoln cent graded MS68RD by PCGS, with absolutely no flaws and blazing red color, can sell for hundreds of dollars. But certain rare varieties with dramatic doubling or misstrikes have reached several $1,000s. These coins often surface in major coin auctions, where seasoned collectors compete fiercely to add them to their collections. The highest known sale for a 2011 Lincoln penny took place at a specialized coin auction where a remarkable specimen, featuring a major die error combined with a perfect grade, stunned bidders by selling for a record-breaking price that left collectors speechless. How to find valuable 2011 pennies. If you're wondering how to identify if your 2011 penny is valuable, here are few tips. First, always check the coin's mint mark. Coins from Denver with a D or San Francisco with an S can sometimes have more collector interest than those from Philadelphia. Next, inspect the coin closely for any errors such as doubling, misstrikes, or odd shapes. Even small details can make a huge difference in value. A magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe can help you see the fine details more clearly. Also, check the coin's condition. Coins with full original shine, no scratches, and strong strike details are much more desirable. If you think your coin might be special, consider getting it graded by a professional service. Having your coin certified not only confirms its authenticity but also helps you get the best price if you ever choose to sell it. Collecting as a passion and investment. Coin collecting is more than just a hobby. It's a journey through American history. Every Lincoln cent tells a story, from the legacy of Abraham Lincoln himself to the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint. Over time, the value of coins can rise due to rarity, demand, and historical significance. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of one of America's most collected coins, the 2018 Lincoln 1-cent penny. You might be thinking, wait, it's just a modern penny, right? Well, think again. Because hidden among the billions of these small copper-plated coins are some truly incredible rarities that have made collectors' jaws drop and bank accounts grow. In fact, one specific 2018 penny recently shocked everyone with its astonishing value. And I'll reveal exactly how much it's worth at the end of this video. So stay tuned until the very last second because this story is going to change the way you look at the change in your pocket forever. The story of the 2018 Lincoln 1-cent coin begins with a legacy that stretches back over a century. The Lincoln penny first appeared in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the beloved 16th President of the United States. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin made history as the first U.S. cent to feature a real person, rather than a symbolic image like Liberty. Over the years, this humble penny has gone through many transformations, from the wheat reverse to the memorial design, and then to the Union Shield design that we see today. The 2018 1-cent penny carries the Union Shield reverse design, which was first introduced in 2010. The shield represents the unity of the states and the strength of the nation. It's a simple but powerful design, 13 vertical stripes joined under a single horizontal bar, symbolizing the 13 original colonies supporting one union. On the obverse side, the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln remains proudly in the center, with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 2018. Depending on where it was minted, the coin will also bear a mint mark, either P for Philadelphia, D for Denver, or S for San Francisco. Now, while billions of 2018 pennies were made, not all are created equal. Some have special characteristics, errors, and finishes that make them incredibly valuable to collectors. Mint marks and production. The 2018 pennies were produced at 3 major U.S. mints, Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 2018 P penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. This was actually only the second year the Philadelphia Mint mark appeared on the Lincoln cent since its introduction in 2017. As for over 2 centuries, Philadelphia coins didn't carry any mint mark at all. The 2018 D penny came from the Denver Mint, located in Colorado, known for producing coins in massive quantities. And the 2018 S penny was struck at the San Francisco Mint, usually reserved for proof coins made for collectors, featuring mirror-like fields and frosted details. But what makes these coins truly interesting are the errors and varieties that occasionally slip through the minting process, creating coins that can sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Rare varieties and errors. Collectors have discovered several fascinating error types among 2018 Lincoln cents. Let's take a look at the most sought-after ones. One of the most talked about is the double die obverse error. In this variety, parts of Lincoln's face, lettering, or the date appear double due to a misalignment during the minting process. When magnified, you can often see a faint shadow or doubling on the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." Some of these coins, depending on how clear the doubling is, can fetch serious premiums in the coin market. Another exciting type is the off-center strike. These occur when the coin blank or planchet isn't properly centered in the press. The result is a penny with part of the design missing or shifted dramatically to one side. The more off-center the coin is, while still showing the full date, the higher its value climbs. Some off-center 2018 pennies have sold for over $100 simply because of their unique misalignment. Then there are die cracks and die breaks, where you might notice raised lines or blobs of metal on the coin's surface. These happen when the die used to strike the coins becomes worn or damaged. Collectors often nickname these errors cuds. A 2018 penny with a large cud near Lincoln's portrait or the rim can be a real conversation piece and easily worth many times its face value. One particularly fascinating error discovered among 2018 pennies is the broad strike, a coin that's been struck outside the collar, giving it a stretched, wider appearance. These coins look almost like they've melted slightly, but they're 100% genuine mint mistakes. And of course, let's not forget about proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. These are struck multiple times with polished dies, giving them sharp details and mirror-like surfaces. A flawless 2018 S-Proof penny graded as PR70 perfect condition can attract top prices from collectors who chase perfection. Metal composition and design details. The 2018 Lincoln 1-cent coin continues the modern composition introduced in 1982. A core of 97.5% zinc coated with 2.5% copper plating. This change was made decades ago to save on production costs, as solid copper had become too expensive. Even though they look like the older copper coins, these modern cents are much lighter. Weighing about 2.5 grams, each 2018 penny has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters and features a smooth edge. Despite being a small and ordinary-looking coin, the artistry of its design and the precision required to mint billions of flawless examples make each one a tiny piece of American craftsmanship. The obverse still proudly carries the timeless image of Abraham Lincoln, sculpted by Victor D. Brenner, which has remained almost unchanged since 1909. On the reverse, the Union Shield, designed by Lyndall Bass and sculpted by Joseph Mena, symbolizes unity, preservation, and national pride. A perfect tribute to the man who kept the nation together during its darkest hour. Collectability and grading. Now let's talk about what really excites coin enthusiasts: value and grading. When it comes to modern pennies like the 2018 issue, condition plays a massive role in determining worth. Coins straight from circulation might only be worth a cent or two, but those in uncirculated, mint state, or proof condition can command impressive prices. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale by professional grading services like PCGS, Professional Coin Grading Service, or NGC Numismatic Guarantee Company. A grade of MS60 represents a coin that's uncirculated but may have minor marks, while MS70 means the coin is flawless under magnification. 2018D or 2018P penny graded MS67 or higher is considered quite rare. These high-grade coins can fetch hundreds of dollars from collectors seeking the best of the best. Proof coins from San Francisco graded PR70 Deep Cameo, DCAM, can also reach impressive values in the coin market. But it's not just about grade. Coins with unique errors, varieties, or eye-catching toning can bring in much higher prices, sometimes thousands, depending on collector demand. How to find valuable 2018 pennies, you might be wondering. How do you find one of these valuable coins yourself? The answer is simple. Start looking through your change. Yes, seriously. Many collectors find error coins in everyday circulation, simply by paying attention. Check the date, the mint mark, and the fine details of Lincoln's face and the lettering. Look for doubling, cracks, missing parts, or anything unusual. Even coins with strange coloring or weak strikes might be worth investigating further. If you find something interesting, you can use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to inspect it closely. And if it seems special, don't clean it. Cleaning can ruin a coin's value. Instead, keep it in a protective holder and get it examined by a professional grader. Current market value and the $1 million fine. Now here's where things get truly fascinating. In recent years, collectors have paid shocking amounts for certain high-grade and error 2018 Lincoln pennies. These aren't just ordinary coins. They're exceptional pieces that stand out from billions of others. Some high-grade mint state examples with spectacular luster and strike quality have sold for several $100s at auction. But the real jaw-dropper came when a rare 2018 penny with a dramatic die error and nearly perfect preservation was discovered and sold for a stunning five-figure amount. It's stories like these that remind us that even a coin that looks ordinary can turn out to be a hidden gem worth thousands. Each coin carries history, artistry, and sometimes a touch of mystery, and the 2018 penny is no exception. And here's the most amazing part of this entire story: the rarest known 2018 Lincoln 1-cent penny, in pristine condition with an extraordinary minting error, was valued at an unbelievable $14,250. Closing thoughts. So the next time you get change at a store or find a penny lying on the ground, take a closer look. That little coin could hold a story, and possibly a fortune. The 2018 Lincoln penny may seem like just another modern coin, but its place in the continuing legacy of American coinage makes it special. From its historical design inspired by Abraham Lincoln's vision of unity to the rare errors that transform simple copper-plated zinc into prized collector's items, every penny has the potential to surprise you. Coin collecting isn't just about money, it's about discovery, preservation, and appreciation for the beauty of everyday history. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, The thrill of finding that one rare coin keeps the passion alive. So keep your eyes open, check your change, and remember, treasures often hide in plain sight. Who knows? The next valuable 2018 penny might just be sitting in your pocket right now, waiting for you to notice it.